Did the Queen of Thornes try to have Sansa executed? In A Storm of Swords, Joffrey Baratheon is poisoned at his own wedding. While Littlefinger tells us Olenna did this and her motive, we are still left with the question of why. Why the roundabout method of Olenna giving the poison to Littlefinger, to give to Dontos, to give to Sansa, just for Olenna to take it back before the wedding feast even begins to drop it into the goblet. The overcomplication of this method has caused many fans to doubt whether Littlefinger's account is accurate. I offer a different explanation. I believe that the hairnet was used to make Sansa the fall guy in case of a suspected poisoning. Olenna Tyrell's plan to cover her tracks, as I see it, would be as follows. Her first line of defense would be natural causes. The poison the Strangler is used to mimic choking, so hopefully people will first think that that is the case. If next people suspect that someone poisoned Joffrey, you would then look into a series of suspects. Chief among them would be the daughter of a traitor and the sister of a rebel lord, whose family was just killed in the fighting with the Crown, and who also had access to the king's table. When investigating Sansa, they would find that the hairnet she wore to the feast had poison hidden within it, and some of the poison would be missing. Even if they question her, she will point to the hairnet being given to her by another person, as Olenna had Littlefinger give her the poison. So what evidence do we have that this is the case? Firstly, Margaery is the person to suggest that Joffrey is choking. Then we see all Tyrells trying to help to save Joffrey's life, with Olenna ordering people to help your king, Garland pounding on his back, and Mace Tyrell shouting advice to try and save him. As soon as he dies, Lady Illyri is reassuring Margaery that he choked. This plants in the minds of everyone that Joffrey died of natural causes, and that the Tyrells tried to save him. Next we can note that Olenna is only kind to Sansa when she wants something from her. She asks Sansa for the truth about Joffrey, even though she knows that the Red Keep is full of spies and one wrong word from Sansa could be severely punished. Olenna tries to marry Sansa off to Willis for her claim and bring her into the fold amongst the Tyrell women. But when the Lannisters catch wind of this scheme and marry her to Tyrion instead, she discards her and all the Tyrell women shun her. Olenna and the Tyrells then largely ignore Sansa, with the exception of Garland, until Joffrey's wedding. This shows that Olenna only sees Sansa as a pawn for her own ends. Thirdly, during the feast, two of the forms of entertainment we are told about are the jousting dwarves and the pigeon pie. The jousting dwarf's armour is painted to resemble Baratheon armour and Stark armour, to remind everyone of the Stark's open rebellion. While when cutting the pigeon pie, Margaery suggests that Joffrey should not use Widow's Wail, which instead causes him to use Sir Ilyn's sword, reminding everyone of Ned Stark's death. These acts put the idea into everyone's minds that Sansa has every right to hate Joffrey. We can even see that people are thinking about this, because as Sansa is fleeing, she runs into Lady Tanda, who tells her that she has a good heart for weeping for Joffrey, even after he set her aside. Fourth, we note that Olenna's method for obtaining the poison would be taking it from Sansa's hairnet without her knowing. This is so that Sansa would be walking around with the murder weapon on her unknowingly. Lastly, we can look to the trial of Tyrion. At the trial, when most people are asked to give evidence against Tyrion, most people give accounts of how Tyrion misliked Joffrey. However, there are three people who give hard evidence against Tyrion. Those three people are Shae, Maester Franken, and Lady Merryweather. Two of those three are part of the Tyrell retinue, while the third has a personal grudge against Tyrion. Some people may argue that there is a fourth person who gives evidence against Tyrion, that being Grand Maester Pycelle. However, Grand Maester Pycelle doesn't actually give any evidence that Tyrion stole the Strangler from him. When you reread his statement, it's just clever wordplay to imply that. Of the people who gave hard evidence against Tyrion, we first have Shae. Shae was scorned by Tyrion and was getting revenge, and or was acting in a sense of self-preservation. She was a wild card and not involved with the Tyrells or any plots at all. The other two were Maester Franken, who examined the body to determine the cause of death, and Lady Merryweather, who saw Tyrion put something in Joffrey's chalice. These two key witnesses were brought along by the Tyrells to sway opinion by potentially giving false evidence in both the autopsy and eyewitness testimony. With all of this evidence, we can now thus see Olenna's plan clearly. Littlefinger stated that she needed a Baratheon to marry, but not Joffrey, so she planned to have him killed. She was going to make it look like natural causes at first, but if people suspected that there was foul play involved, she was going to influence them into suspecting that Sansa was the culprit and blame her. This would keep herself and her grandchildren safe. However, what she didn't expect was that Littlefinger would steal Sansa away. Olenna locked out that Cersei's hatred of Tyrion caused her to accuse him at the wedding, and she changed her plans on the fly to run with Tyrion being the poisoner. But what do you think? Are there any details that I missed, or holes in my theories? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, bye.